everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm not going to waste too much of your time on this one because you've already had enough of your time wasted on this nice Thanksgiving day. Detroit Lions lose 29-22 to the Green Bay Packers, but don't be fooled by that score because this one really wasn't that close. The offense, not much life today, and the defense, the problems over the last 3 weeks were kind of continued in this one, dropping 7 in coverage, not covering anyone, not creating pressure when you send the heat, blitzing the linebacker over the center, not to much avail, and just kind of one of the worst offensive designed games in recent memory. And once again, the Lions are losers on Thanksgiving. They have not won on Thanksgiving since 2016. So even in a year where I could write a book on first time since this year stats, they lose again on Thanksgiving, even when they come in winning 4 in a row on things against the Packers overall. So just a tough day. They made Jordan Love look fantastic. Love beat him up 22 of 32 for 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 125.5 quarterback rating in this one, and he put the game away on the ground too with a 37-yard run on a read option. Sorry, somebody's walking by with their speakerphone on, press room. But yeah, with the game on the line, the Lions forget that the quarterback exists on a zone read run, and Love takes off down the field 37 yards. They're able to milk the clock even more. I think they took over like 7 minutes on that. Yeah, what was it? They took over 6:46, and they turned it over. Or they didn't turn it over. They punted with like 2:46 left, so that drive did everything they needed it to do. They took 4 minutes off the clock and just – even though Detroit's offense went down the field, scored, got the 2-point try, and made it a 7-point game, there was 41 seconds left on the clock, and they had to burn one of their final 3 timeouts. The big 30-plus yard play to Khalif Raymond, but he gets tackled in bounds in the middle of the field. And, that was one of those situations where you really needed to have every single one of your timeouts if you were going to pull off that, because a onside kick is one of the toughest plays to make in sports. But, I know everybody's focused on Jared Goff's struggles. This is either a bot or somebody that hasn't been paying attention for this season. So I'll just highlight that one for a second. But, it's a 29-22 loss. Jared Goff, another sloppy day. 5 turnovers in 5 quarters on this one. But I'm not going to sit here and just completely blame him because it was the worst day of the season from the offensive line. From start to finish, this was an ugly day on the offensive line. And honestly, you live and die by the sword sometimes. They go 1 of 5 on 4th down. The fake punt, obviously deep in their own territory, doesn't pay off this time. The Packers turn that into points, but you're not going to hear me complain about Dan Campbell or Ben Johnson's aggressiveness. That is what has helped turn this team around. They've relied on that time and time again, and nobody on that defense is surprised by having to defend the short field. Yeah, the offensive line was pretty bad today. No doubt about it. I'm trying to pull up. The Packers had 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 11, 12 quarterbacks hit. 12 quarterback hits. Rashawn Gary had 3 sacks of his own. My goodness, yeah, 3 fumbles. Jared Goff, he was very, very, very tough day. Sloppy day throwing the ball. Sloppy day hanging on to the ball. And, when your offensive line is struggling to protect and you give you time, the one thing that can make that worse is the fumble fingers. And that's what happened in this one. Tough day, but the Lions get a little mini bye this weekend, if you will, before they come back in week 13, right? Week 13 at New Orleans. It's the schedule is still very, very friendly on paper. This is obviously one that they should have won. They are the better team, no doubt about it. I'm not that down on them, but there are concerns on defense because, like I said, you're dropping 7 in coverage and you still can't cover. It's why we talked about the trade deadline so heavy and adding a quarterback because you saw what happens. The Packers schemed to attack Jerry Jacobs from start to finish in this one. From start to finish, they attacked Jerry Jacobs in this one. Christian Watson had himself a day. They put the game away with him. And, it's, there's just not much defense of the defense. But yeah, Jared Goff taking 11 hits. Rashawn Gary getting home for 3 sacks of his own. That's just a tough day. And, yeah, when you struggle on fourth down like that, when in games like this they rely so much on aggressiveness, and when that's not coming through, and your defense is playing on the short field, when your defense is already playing bad and not defending anything, that's how today's going to go. Yeah, it was a pretty quiet locker room after this game. I'd watch for injuries on Alex Anzalone, Kirby Joseph, David Montgomery, and Craig Reynolds coming forward. Those are the four guys that I'm kind of looking at. Anzalone's never said no to a media request before, so him saying no in the locker room today tells me that might be some medical stuff going on there. Ali McNeil was evaluated for a concussion, but he returned to the game. That's the good news there. Frank Ragnow was banged up in this one, but he returned to the game. And yeah, we're going to get out of here and try and see my family at some point today. Hope you guys at least enjoyed your day outside of the football side of your day, but I'm going to get out of here. See you in a couple days. Happy Thanksgiving.